we'll start with Rick can address the win, and then we'll go questions for the players, and then back to Rick.
Well, we shot a low percentage in the first half because we were missing a lot of rim plays where we had wide open layups, and we were missing it. And then it was affecting our psyche a little bit. And I told the guys the story at halftime, obviously in a much lower scale, but for us, equally important. In 2013, we had to win a national championship to get by the best defensive team in the nation by far, Wichita State. And I told them, if you don't play as well defensively as Wichita State, we'll never get to Michigan. And the same thing I told them at halftime. I said, this is a defensive war. If you're not the better team, we're going home defensively, regardless of what you do offensively. And they played suffocating defense in the second half. They were 1 for 10 from the three. These guys they've been so much fun to coach. I've always said I got one of the premier backcourts in the nation. Adversity makes you stronger sometimes. The weak break with adversity. We've lost our starting power forward. We've lost our sixth man. Barrick has missed over a month. Walt missed about 2.5 weeks. Osborne had to change positions from a center to a power forward, and they never relented. They just stayed positive, and I'm so proud of them with this victory. Mount's a terrific team, well-coached team, and we're very excited about the way we played in the second half.
Okay, if you want to ask questions of players, just raise your hand. We'll bring the mic over.
Thanks, Ken Kreitzer, CanVets Media. Coach assumed in the first half, Dennis was hot, made the shots to keep you ahead, and then in the second half, Walter really started making shots. Oz was, making shots throughout. Yeah, just how you're
in the game. It's about time.
Start out the game, I just like to come out aggressive. I think if I set the tone for the rest of my guys, they'll follow suit. So that's just my message to the guys. I always got to come out aggressive no matter who we play, what game it is, and I wanted to just show them that it's just another game. Everybody come out confident and let's stick together and just execute the game plan, and we'll win the game.
Walter, a big day for you, being named Player of the Year for the MAAC, and then you really seemed to take charge in the second half. What was your thought in the second half?
Just to come out there and just play hard, like Coach said, play defense. I got some easy baskets, good passes from DJ, and everybody just working. So let's just go out there and just play hard.
And I just thought about you're playing a lot at the top of the key. You're making shots today, and also on defense. What do you think about your game tonight?
I thought I could have played better in the first half.
Can you speak up? They can't.
We kept getting beat off the bounce, but in the second half we kind of changed how we stayed in our stances and came out playing well.
Very good. Thank you.
This kid's highly intelligent. We're trying to call switches. We're trying to call things out there. Switch. Nobody hears it. We think we're all going deaf. One day, 11 guys went for ear checkups because we thought we could hear ours.
All right. Walter, does winning the MAAC Player of the Year give you some type of moral boost before the game? And does that give you some sort of higher confidence?
Nah. My confidence comes from practice. I'm going against him right here every day, DJ, so he pushed me. So that's where my confidence comes from. I get on the court, there ain't nobody out there that's going to be a better player than him, and I'm facing him every day in practice. So that's where my confidence comes from.
And Osborne, is there any particular player you look up to? So your particular play style, I kind of compare it to a Kristaps Porzingis type of gameplay, right? Do you look up to any sub player for your game style?
Kevin Durant.
I call him KD because he reminds me exactly of KD.
Hey Walter, was there any thought among the returning guys, let's not let this thing end early like it did last year in Wednesday?
Oh yeah, for sure. For the returning guys, that's definitely been on our mind, and I think everybody who's new here, they kind of asking about it and telling them, it's on our mind a lot. So we just got to keep this going what we did tonight.
Any other questions for the players? Any questions for Rick?
watching Mike Carlin from 97.3 ESPN South Jersey. In the first half, there was a stoppage in play, and it seemed like the referees weren't going as fast starting play as you liked, we'll say. Is that something with you feeling momentum, or is that something you just want to keep going with the game?
I don't know what I don't know what's taking so long. I don't know what's it's like an extra timeout, and we tried to pick up the pace and try to turn things around, and I don't know why this starts. What's taking so long? And
I think we all were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you never get a straight answer. They lie all the time.
Thanks.
Coach Paul Snyder, the Montauk Sun. Defense won the game for sure. Your comments on Jalen Benjamin's performance today?
Well, this is going to sound crazy. I thought our guys played him great, but he made tough shots. And that's what great players do. They make tough shots. I mean, we were in his jock. He didn't have an easy look the whole night. But he was 11 for 22. Now, our goal was to drive him off the line, the three-point line, because he's got great range. And then if he can make shots, mid-range shots, so be it. And he was 1 for 7 from 3. But he's a great player, and he makes tough shots. But I was happy with our defense on him. He's just terrific.
Just want to ask Walter, you made a shot falling about 7.5 minutes to go, 8-point lead, and you're falling the baseline. You threw the ball at the basket, and it went in. Just tell us about the shot.
Was it a layup?
Now you were falling back to the baseline. You threw it up, and it went in. It was remarkable.
He made it 2 million.
Oh yeah. All right, yeah. Me and DJ work on that a lot. So going to the gym at night and work on just going to the side, different type of tough finishes. So not really no thoughts on it.
Absolutely good shot, Coach. Just ask you. You've been in this situation, tournament so many times, but you had the thought about last year. What did you tell the team about approaching this game tonight?
Well, I never mentioned last year because, unlike a lot of people, just refuse to give other teams credit. It wasn't that we played terrible. Ryder played great. We got a tough whistle at the end of the game with a travel violation, but they got a tough whistle in certain games as well. But nobody wants to give the winner credit. We do. So we're not invincible. We can get beat. Obviously, this year we lost 3 games in conference. So we just give the other people credit and we move on. We don't. I told the guys, look, the past. There's 2 ways to look at the past. You cherish it, and you learn from it. The future will take care of itself if you take care of the present. We got to take care of possession by possession. We're not going to think about last year because these guys weren't there. Some of them were, but DJ wasn't there, and Osborne was hardly playing, so we're not going to. It was irrelevant. We gave Ryder credit. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's Iona's fault." No, it's not our fault. They were a better team that night in a very close, hard-fought game.
Thank you.
Coach, do you have a reaction to the Jim Boeheim news?
Yeah, I texted Jim, told him you had an awesome career, filled with so many great moments, and I thanked him for giving me a job 45 years ago when I was out of work, and he said, "I'm going to be your consultant." I said, "Anytime." It's unusual for a man to have that long a career, to want to stay at the same place for that long. I was one time on vacation with Jim and our 2 wives in Bermuda. We're laying on the beach, we're talking about, he's actually reading a book, I'm talking to the 2 girls, and I asked the question, if you had $1 million, back then $1 million was big. I said, and you can move anywhere, where would you live? So Elaine said Paris, Joanne said, of course, New York City. I said, I'd like to travel all around the world, but and then I'll pick my spot. And Jim said, I'll never forget this moment, Jim says, Syracuse. The 3 of us picked up our chairs and moved it 50 yards down on the beach. We refused to be with him. And that's Jim. He just loved Syracuse, loved everything about it. I wish him nothing but great health and a great retirement career, because he's really, you guys don't know him as well as me. Jim is a really, really good person. Really a good person. Back then, when we were recruited, we would stay in Holiday Inns, and I had a room with him. We couldn't afford to have separate rooms like today. I would room with him. And he was such a gentleman that he'd see me tired, he'd shut the light, he'd sit on the edge of the bed, on his bed, right this far from the television, and watch old movies all night. And I'd wake up and I'd said to the other assistant, I said, "You're not gonna believe I woke up in the middle of the night and he was watching movies at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning." And we laughed and he said, "That's Jim." But back then, he got really close. I was with 2 other assistants in an office the size of the podium here. 3 of us were together, and we were at Syracuse. And he's taken that program from that point to where it is today. And it was a lot of fun. I'm very thankful for him giving me a break.
Okay. You guys ready for Friday?
Well, DJ said he wants to celebrate until midnight. I don't know what that means. But
that means we can enjoy this one until the next day. At midnight is the next day, so we got to start thinking about our next one.
12:01, you're ready to go.
I think you got some coaching in me. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.